I remember from a young age being so drawn to wolves.
I've always enjoyed wolves as a child.
You're watching part of a trailer of Part of the Pack. This is a new documentary that tells the story of 3 BC residents who have a close relationship with wolves or wolf dogs. Well, Isabelle Groc wrote and co-directed this film. It's screening now at the Vancouver International Studio Theatre, coming soon to the Victoria Film Festival as well. Isabelle, hello and welcome back to Our Vancouver.
Hello, Gloria. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
What is the appeal or the mystique of wolves that attracted you?
Well, it all started with a personal story, a personal experience. A few years ago, I was in Vancouver Island. I was researching a book on sea otters, and I was taking photographs, and we were camping by the shoreline. And then we saw this coastal wolf, which was an incredible surprise. You don't expect to see a wolf out there. I'd never seen a wolf in the wild before. So it was a magical experience. And these coastal wolves, were there because our camp was by the shoreline. So as coastal wolves, what they do is that they feed on what the sea brings them. And so they were just passing by our camp. And that encounter was very peaceful. We did our own thing as humans there in this camp, and the wolves just looked at us briefly and then left. So it was an intriguing encounter, and then it got me interested in the story of humans encountering wolves. And it was not so long after that, and also for me it was magical because here I was researching this book on sea otters. Sea otters are a keystone species, they influence the landscape, and wolves are also landscape influences. They're also keystone species on the environment. So for me to see both of these species right there on this landscape was really very, very special.
So, but when you say wolves, like we go back to fairy tales where wolves are the big bad wolf, that type of thing, are they as dark and menacing as some think?
You're right, for all these years, wolves, and centuries even, wolves have always had this bad reputation. They're dangerous, they're out there to get you and kill people. And it's actually not the case. Wolves and other predators like bears, for example, when they're in the environment, they actually do not seek out humans. There are no reason for them to seek out humans unless you're there in their environment. They perceive you as a threat or a disturbance, or if you're, as a human, change something in their environment that they perceive as a threat. So that might change their behavior as well. And when you think of an environment where wolves today with natural habitats are shrinking, we're changing the environment, and wolves today have more and more, they have to coexist with humans on the landscapes. So the film is about this evolving relationships of peoples and wolves and how we coexist on the landscape.
So who do we meet in your documentary?
So we follow 3 people who love wolves, and those 3 characters have developed a unique relationship with wolves. One of them is a conservation photographer, Cheryl Alexander, who has had the opportunity to photograph and document the life of a lone wolf, Takaya, that came to live on a small island of Victoria. The second story we follow is one of Gary Allen, who presents himself as a wolf educator and who has several wolf dogs, and one of them, a wolf dog named Tundra, that he's been taking to schools to educate people about the importance of wolves in the ecosystem. And so we follow his story of having this wolf literally in his living room, and what are the implications of having a wolf dog living with you. And then the third story is one of Samantha Law. Sam is a woman who lives in Vancouver, who has always had a fascination for wolves since she was a child. And she also gets a wolf dog and living with that animal, not realizing the consequences of having in a domesticated environment at home in Vancouver, an animal that is part wolf, part wild, and part dog.
So what do you think after this research and this project? How close do you think we should be getting to these animals?
It is the question we really wanted to explore in the film very deeply. What is our responsibility? Because animals like wolves, but also other wildlife species, coyotes, raccoons, cougars, bears, black bears or grizzly bears, they live today in environments that are more and more that are shrinking, where humans are everywhere in the landscape. So they've learned to adapt to this environment. They navigate these landscapes that are full of people. They travel through these corridors where they're likely to meet more and more people along the way. And so they've adapted to that, and I'm always very surprised to see how wolves and other predators really find ways to coexist and do their things in these spaces, which is extremely interesting. For example, black bears have become very nocturnal to avoid people. So our responsibility is, as we're on those shared landscapes, how can we give more spaces to these predators and keep our distance so we give them a chance to remain wild while keeping our own connection to nature alive? That's a dilemma.
I see. And in working on this project, what surprised you most about wolves?
What surprised me most about wolves when we got to film them in the wild is how vast their territory is. And to find them required for us a lot of patience and waiting time just for a chance of a glimpse of these animals. And that made me realize that how much space they need, and sadly, how much little space we leave for them to roam. And yet, they are very adaptable. They've really learned to negotiate and navigate these new normal, these new landscapes where there are people and more people, and they do that incredibly well. So it gave me a lot to think about, a lot of respect for the wolves, but also made me think about how can we adapt as well and give space as well to these animals.
Nice. Isabelle, I'm always fascinated in all of the facets of nature and wildlife that you bring our way. What an incredible project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gloria.